They actually wouldn't let you in if you weren't 18 or under. They cut people off. Cares about age the least, but they care about visuals the most. It was terrible. Terrible. I was freaking out. Hey guys, it's Erin, and for today's video, I'm going to be telling you about my experiences auditioning to be a K-pop idol. Last video, I kind of explained to you guys where I've been and why I haven't been uploading, some of the things I've been up to, but one of the things that I didn't mention in that video is I attended and auditioned for 5 different K-pop companies. I personally love watching these videos and people talking about their experiences, so maybe if that's something you're interested in, or if you've been wanting to audition for a K-pop company, I'm here to give you all the tea, everything you need to know about my experiences and kind of how certain companies run their auditions. The companies that I have auditioned for have been SM, JYP, Black Label, which is kind of like a subsidiary under YG, P Nation, and Pledis, which is under Hybe. I'll be talking about all 5 of those companies in today's video if you've been interested in auditioning for any of them, which maybe many of you have. If you want to hear from somebody who's gone through the audition process firsthand, then keep on watching. My first K-pop audition I ever did was an SM Global audition. For this one, they did have an age limit. It was 2004 to 2012. Even though the age limit was 2004, I'm a 2003 baby, but I was still 19 at the time of this audition. It was like a month before I had turned 20. Of all the big 4 companies, I will say I think SM cares about age the least, but they care about visuals the most. How SM worked is you were just able to walk in, you tell the people at the front desk, you know, your name, they give you a sticker with a number on it. You put that number on, you go into a waiting room. Now for SM in-person auditions, how they do it is they separate you by who's gonna be singing and who's gonna be dancing. So they kind of put you into like separate groups. If you're singing, you go over here. If you're dancing, you go in like over here and in 2 separate rooms. What they'll ask for you to do is if you're singing, you need to prepare a piece that is what they say the highlight part of your song. So that's for singing. And then if you do dance, I personally did singing, but my other friend actually did dancing. And they tell you ahead of time, you have to do freestyle for the audition, and SM is the one who picks the song. So my audition song that I picked was honestly probably not the best one because it's not very like SM style, but I sang Thai Cherry by CL. So for singing and for dancing, they do this for the whole audition. They put you in groups of 5. You walk in to the audition room, you stand in a line with your 5 people, and there were 2 casting directors, one holding a camera, one holding like a notepad. You go down the line and you say your name and your age. After you state your name and your age, you have to look directly into the camera. The casting directors will tell you, please look into the camera while you're singing and sing the highlight part of your song that you prepared. Each one of us went one by one. The SM casting directors, let me tell you, are the nicest casting directors. But I've heard some pretty bad stories before when it comes to casting directors about how they're like really mean and judgmental. No, SM casting directors, it's low-key, like they kind of give you a little bit of false hope, I won't lie. Because both of them, they're very attentive when they look at you, they nod, they smile. They were so nice, like so unbelievably nice. If they like someone in your group, they'll say like number blank, please stay back, and the rest of you can go. So there was one guy in our group who did get held back. He was in that room for about maybe 10 more minutes. I would definitely say if I could give you one piece of advice, singing is probably better than dancing for SM because SM produces vocal powerhouses of that industry, of the K-pop industry. My second audition was for JYP. JYP, whew, man, okay. They're much more strict on the age policy. You had to be born in 2005 through 2013, I believe. You fill out this form. Me and my friends lied about our age because they actually wouldn't let you in if you weren't 18 or under. And me and my friend were both 19. I had already turned 20 actually at this time because the SM Global audition was held at K-pop Center in Orange County, but it was K-pop Center people running and organizing it. But with JYP, they had JYP staff at tables, in the waiting room, checking you in. I was super scared about lying about my age. So I'm in editing mode right now, and I wanted to make a quick clarification. So the reason why I'm explaining how K-pop Center staff were the ones running the SM audition versus JYP's actual company workers were the ones running the audition is because with SM, since it was K-pop Center people who were running it, even if you were outside the age range that SM was looking for, they would still let you in, no problem, and let you audition, versus since it was JYP's actual staff running the audition, even though it was at K-pop Center, if you weren't 18 or under, they had the power to be more strict on age and say, no, sorry, you can't audition. So there was actually quite a lot of people who lied about their age at this audition, and that did low-key make me feel a little bit better. But yeah, I thought I would make that clarification because I don't think I really explained it that well. I walk in there, I give them my form. There's a lady at the check-in who's kind of doing the logistics and stuff, and she's giving out stickers for your numbers. After you check in with the JYP people, they had you sit in these lines, like literally lined up in groups of 10. And so it was a group of 10 people audition. So just like how SM was a group audition of 5 people, it was 10 people for JYP, but it was set up way differently. You wait in your group of 10 in the hallway, then you walk in as a group of 10, and there's chairs against the wall, the opposite wall of the door, the casting director, and there's like a camera propped up on the table while he's taking notes and stuff. There was no self-introduction, which honestly, that was kind of a relief in my opinion, because then I didn't have to lie about my age to the casting director's face, because I think that would have ate me alive a little bit. Basically, you sit in those chairs in your group of 10, and one person goes up and there's a tape, and you stand behind that tape. If you're singing, you just get right into it. If you're dancing, you get right into it, and the moment that the person in front of you is done, you go up, and you are not allowed to say a single word the entire time you are in there. So you just sit in the chair, you move down a seat every time a new person goes up, don't say anything. So it kind of goes through 10 people like this. You have a minute max for either singing or dancing. I did dancing. I did Super Shy by New Jeans. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, the head of operations of K-pop Center was also sitting in the room. Like I said, the SM people, they were nodding, they were smiling, very engaged in your performance. This guy had the most stern, blank face expression ever. For SM, they didn't cut people off. They just let you do your whole performance from start to finish. But for JYP, they cut people off. There was a girl in my group who got cut off after 10 seconds. I was actually the only person in my group who didn't get cut off, which, thank you, Lord, thank you, Jesus. So then once everyone in my group was done, we all just left the room. He was like, thank you. And we all just left. Needless to say, I failed. JYP doesn't want me. Cool. Now, Black Label. Okay, before I move on, I'm just gonna say I did dance for every audition except for SM, so that I don't have to keep repeating, I did dance for this, I did dance for this, I did dance for this. Super Shy is usually my go-to audition song, and that's the song that I use for Pledis SMP Nation. Black Label kind of has that same vibe as YG, so typically if you're auditioning for a company that has a certain vibe, they're usually trying to look for someone who fits a certain vibe. I chose to do Bomb by Alexa, which is a much more hip-hop. Black Label was a global open audition, and it had a really big turnout. I think there were around 140 to 160 people there. Me and my friends, some of my friends also went. We waited for like 7 hours before actually stepping foot in that audition room. This was actually the only open audition that had no age restriction, which I was like, it was the same as SM. It was groups of 5, but it was similar to the style of JYP. So basically you went in with your group of 5 and you lined up against the wall, and one by one you go up and you do either your singing or dancing. Because my group went really late, the audition was supposed to end at 8 o'clock and it was already approaching 7:30, and there were still like 60 people left to go. The casting director, it was one lady, she was really, really nice. I didn't hear anything about her cutting people off towards the beginning first few hours of the audition, but I think because there was such a time crunch, she was cutting people off. She cut off, I think, 3 out of the 5 people in my group. She didn't cut me off, and there was another girl who sang, who actually, she got held back. I think she was 14. So you did have to do a self-introduction. If you wait in the hallway, they tell you usually what to do, at least at K-pop Center they do. Say your name, age, height, weight. So I did my introduction in Korean, which typically is actually very beneficial if you can do that. I guess it's an audition tip. If you speak another language, whether it's Korean or not, whether it's Japanese, Spanish, Chinese, whatever it may be, do your introduction in that language as well on top of English, because then it can show that you speak another language. And because companies are kind of going for the idea of trying to make global groups nowadays, that's really, really helpful. So I did my introduction in Korean. Another girl in my group did hers in Korean as well, but I think the casting director could tell that she was Asian, but she didn't look Korean. So the casting director responded to her in English, but she actually responded back to me in Korean, which I was like, that was the first time I did like a formal self-introduction, so I was really nervous because I get kind of low-key anxious when I speak Korean to people that I don't know. Yeah, that was Black Label. Overall, a really good experience. P Nation, Psy, the icon of the K-pop industry who came out with Gangnam Style. It's his agency, P Nation. It's better to sing for P Nation because from their artists or like former artists, people that have been under that company, typically they were singers first before dancing. So like they got into the company for their singing and then they were just trained how to dance later on. But I still danced for that one because this like couldn't have happened at a worse time. I kid you not, the day before my P Nation audition, I don't know if I got sick or what happened, but I lost my voice. You can ask anybody who knows me in real life. I sounded like a dying horse. It was terrible, terrible. I was freaking out. I could barely get a sentence out. Doing my self-introduction, thankfully my voice cleared up enough. Like I didn't sound like my voice was cracking every 2 seconds. That was really unfortunate. P Nation, actually, this was my first private audition and I received an invitation to join this audition. It was a private one. It was not open to the public. You had to be specially invited to go to this audition. If I'm being honest, I don't really remember the casting directors from P Nation. I believe it was 2 girls and 1 guy. For dance, you had to have the audio that you were gonna use downloaded on your phone, because unlike JYP where it was kind of loaded into their computer and they play it for you, you had to have it on your phone and then you had to plug it into the speaker. I did my self-introduction in Korean. They responded to me in Korean, which the casting directors, they can usually speak English. If you do it in Korean and you sound like you have a Korean accent, I think they can honestly tell, because in my opinion, I do not look that Asian, okay? I don't know if they could tell if I was Asian or not. I did my dance and then they said thank you and then I left. So nothing happened with P Nation. And last and latest audition, Pledis. If you guys don't know, Pledis is under Hybe. Of all companies that if I were to become a K-pop idol that I would want to be under, it's Hybe. So this one was also another invite only, and it was actually the day after the P Nation audition. So remember how I said my voice was cracking and I sounded like a dying horse the day of P Nation? Well, guess what? It was even worse the day of Pledis. When I got into that room, when I did my self-introduction, my voice was cracking so bad. It was terrible. Like, you want to know what the worst part was? I had Sydney, my best friend, her birthday party right after that audition, so I drove to LA right after I was done with that audition to go to her birthday because it was so loud in her apartment because people were talking. I was also like yelling. On the drive back to Orange County after her birthday, my voice was still gone, but guess what? It was coming back. I kid you not. I was on the phone with my friend Erica. My voice was terrible, don't get me wrong, but it was significantly better than what it was when I was at the audition. I think this is God's way of telling me you need to stop auditioning for these K-pop companies and give up on your dreams. Because like, what the heck? That was fun. I get into that room for Pledis. It was just one casting director. I was actually pretty nervous about doing Super Shy because even though NewJeans isn't under Pledis, they're still under a company that's under Hybe. I still did it anyways, but to my surprise, Pledis held me back. They said when I was done at the end of my 52 seconds of super shying the hardest I could, can you stay for a little bit so we can ask you some questions? So they asked me to do the like side profile thing. So like they asked me to turn this way, pull my hair back this way, and then frontal view. This is like the most soul crushing part, is they asked me to sing, and that is exactly what I was worried about. And so I tell them, 죄송하지만 제 목소리가 조금 아파가지고 노래를 잘 못해요. Keep in mind, my voice did not sound like this. You guys, like, I can't even describe to you how terribly sore my voice was, how hoarse it was. It was really, really bad. They told me like, 네, 알겠습니다, 감사합니다, and then I bowed to them, and then I left the room, and nothing happened after that. That is my experience auditioning for some of the big K-pop companies. I was someone growing up who was way too scared to submit videos or go to these open auditions, but doing them, honestly, I found fun in it. So even if you don't think you're gonna pass, just say why not and go do it. If they're holding a global audition near you, go. If you're too scared to just submit the video through like the online submission, just do it. At least if you don't pass, like, you know you tried and you won't have regrets. That's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Drop a comment down below of what else you want to see. Subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications for new uploads every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.